There are famous people, and then there is Michael Jackson. He wasn't just a star, he was a global event, a supernova of talent who redefined music, dance, and fashion for all time. He was the child prodigy who led the Jackson 5, the young man who shattered the color barrier on MTV, the artist who created Thriller, the best-selling album in human history. He was the man who taught the world to moonwalk. For a time, he was the most famous human being on the planet. But his life was a profound and tragic paradox. He was a man who experienced a level of adoration that no one had ever known, yet he was crushingly lonely. He was a brilliant businessman who created an empire, yet he was surrounded by controversy. And most poignantly, he was a man whose own childhood was stolen by the relentless grind of show business, a trauma that led him to build an extraordinary, magical, and deeply strange world for his own children. He called it Neverland. It was a 700-acre fantasy land in the California hills, complete with a private amusement park, a zoo, and a movie theater. It was a paradise built to protect them, a gilded cage designed to shield them from the outside world. And to protect them further, he famously hid their faces from the public with a bizarre collection of masks, veils, and scarves. For years, the world only knew them as silent, mysterious figures. Then, in an instant, on a summer day in 2009, he was gone. And his children were unmasked on a global stage to face the world completely and utterly alone. What is the true, surreal, and untold story of Michael Jackson's 3 children? In this video, we will tell the complete, surreal, and deeply human stories of Prince Paris and Bigi Jackson. They were the children of the king of pop, raised in a bubble of extreme isolation and fantasy, shielded from the world by a father who was both the most beloved and the most controversial entertainer of all time. Their journey from a life of hidden privacy to one of public self-discovery is unlike any other in history. We will explore the life of Michael Joseph Prince Jackson Jr., the responsible eldest son who has embraced the business side of his father's monumental legacy while quietly forging his own path behind the camera. We will delve into the incredible and turbulent journey of Paris Jackson, the outspoken artist, model, and musician who survived immense personal struggles and crushing media scrutiny to find her own powerful and authentic voice. And we will uncover the quiet world of Prince Michael Bigi Jackson II, the shy youngest son once infamously known to the world as Blanket, as he slowly and thoughtfully steps out of the shadows to champion the causes he and his father believed in. To bring you this definitive and intimate story, we have delved into countless hours of rare documentary footage revealing family interviews, the children's own public statements and creative works, and the complex legal records surrounding their father's extraordinary life and sudden tragic death. This is the story of a childhood unlike any other in history, and the 3 remarkable young adults who survived it. Number 3. Prince. Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., the protector of the legacy. He was the firstborn, the son named after the king, groomed in a world of fantasy and unimaginable privilege. How did Prince Jackson emerge from the chaos and grief of his father's death to become the grounded, pragmatic, and responsible guardian of the Jackson family business and his younger siblings? Born on February 13, 1997, Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., known as Prince, was his father's pride and joy. His biological mother was Debbie Rowe, a nurse at Michael's dermatology clinic. Though by all accounts, Prince and his sister Paris were raised exclusively by their father. His childhood alongside his sister was a surreal existence within the magical bubble of Neverland Ranch. It was a home with a private amusement park, a zoo, and a movie theater, a paradise designed by his father to give them the joyful, carefree childhood he never had. But it was also a gilded cage. To protect their identities and give them a semblance of a normal life. When they ventured out, Michael famously shielded his children's faces with masks, veils, and elaborate disguises. For years, the world knew what Prince Jackson sounded like, but not what he looked like. It was a bizarre but well-intentioned attempt at privacy through public spectacle. Everything changed on June 25, 2009. The sudden death of his father shattered their protected world. At just 12 years old, Prince, along with his siblings, was thrust unmasked into the brightest, harshest spotlight imaginable at the public memorial service at the Staples Center. In the aftermath, he and his siblings went to live with their grandmother, Catherine Jackson, and were raised alongside their numerous cousins. He was forced to navigate the treacherous waters of adolescence while grieving a father. The entire world was also mourning. As a young adult, Prince has shown a remarkable maturity and a keen, focused intellect. While he has dabbled in on-camera work, serving as a correspondent for Entertainment Tonight as a teenager, his true passion lies behind the scenes in the world of production and business. He graduated with honors from Loyola Marymount University in 2019 with a degree in business administration. Years earlier, in 2016, he founded his own production company aptly named King's Son Productions, focusing on creating music videos and other visual media, a clear nod to his father's revolutionary work in the field. He is articulate, thoughtful, and fiercely protective of his father's legacy. He has used his popular YouTube channel, where he reviews movies with his brother Bigi, and his social media presence to combat misinformation and defend his father's character and artistry, especially in the wake of damaging documentaries. He has also dedicated himself to philanthropy. He co-founded the Heal Los Angeles charity, directly inspired by his father's Heal the World Foundation, focusing on helping inner-city youth. Prince's story is one of quiet strength and deep responsibility. He has taken the immense weight of his inheritance and channeled it into becoming a producer, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and the stable, protective older brother, ensuring that the business of the Jackson legacy continues with integrity and purpose. While Prince focused on preserving the structure and business of his father's legacy, his younger sister Paris was about to embark on a much more turbulent, painful, and public journey to process the immense emotional weight of it all. Number 2. Paris Jackson, the phoenix from the fire. Her heartbreaking, tearful words at her father's memorial introduced her to the world as a grieving little girl. But the journey of Paris Jackson from that moment would be a brutal public trial by fire. A story of immense pain, rebellion, and ultimately a triumphant and beautiful discovery of her own powerful artistic voice. Born on April 3, 1998, Paris Michael Catherine Jackson was the adored daughter of the King of Pop. She was the Princess of Neverland. Her introduction to the world was at his memorial service, where the 11-year-old, in a moment of heart-wrenching spontaneity, stepped to the microphone, tears streaming down her face, and said, "Ever since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine. And I just wanted to say I love him so much." That moment of raw public grief defined her. In the years that followed, the transition into the real world was brutal. After a lifetime of being protected and homeschooled in a fantasy land, she was suddenly exposed to the harsh realities of public school and, most viciously, the unregulated cruelty of social media. The cyberbullying was relentless. The immense pressure of her name, combined with her unprocessed grief and a search for her own identity, led her into a very dark period. She has spoken openly, bravely, and with incredible candor about her struggles with severe depression, body dysmorphia, self-harm, and multiple suicide attempts during her teenage years. She was a lost girl grieving in the brightest spotlight on earth. But Paris is a survivor, a fighter. As she emerged from this dark period, she began to reclaim her own narrative with a fierce, unapologetic spirit. She became a successful high-fashion model, gracing the covers of magazines like Vogue and Rolling Stone. She dabbled in acting, appearing in films and television shows. Most importantly, and most powerfully, she found her own artistic voice through music. But her music is not the pop of her father. It is a raw, emotional indie folk sound influenced by artists like Radiohead and Nirvana. It is deeply personal, filled with poetic, often melancholy lyrics about heartbreak, survival, and her own spiritual journey. By creating a sound that is so entirely her own, she has stepped out of her father's monumental musical shadow in the most definitive way possible. Today, Paris Jackson is a powerful and outspoken voice. She is a passionate advocate for mental health awareness, environmental causes, and LGBTQ+ rights. She is covered in over 80 tattoos, many of them beautiful tributes to her father. And she lives her life with a fierce, unapologetic honesty. Her journey has been a difficult one, a public battle with demons, both internal and external. But she has emerged as a resilient, compelling, and important artist and activist, the true heir to her father's humanitarian spirit and his desire to heal the world. While Paris found and sometimes fought for her voice in the public spotlight, her younger brother, the one who experienced the most bizarre and shocking public debut of all, would spend years trying to find his own far away from the prying eyes of the cameras. Number 1. Bigi Jackson. The thinker in the shadows, his introduction to the world, was one of the most shocking and controversial moments in modern celebrity history. A baby dangled precariously over a hotel balcony in Berlin, his face hidden by a white blanket. For years, the world knew him only by his father's strange nickname, Blanket. How did the shyest and most sheltered of Michael Jackson's children, Bigi Jackson, emerge from that bizarre moment and a lifetime of seclusion to find his own quiet voice and his own profound purpose? Born Prince Michael Jackson II on February 21, 2002, his mother was an anonymous surrogate, and his early life was the most sheltered of all. His father nicknamed him Blanket, a term of endearment that Michael said was meant to signify comfort and love. But this unique name, combined with his infamous public debut in Berlin in 2002, made him a global punchline and a future target for bullies. After his father's death, he struggled immensely with the attention. He was, by all accounts, an extremely shy and introverted child. In 2015, he made the courageous decision to no longer go by Blanket, and is now known to his friends, family, and the public as Bigi. It was his first major step in defining his own identity, a quiet act of self-reclamation. For years, Bigi remained almost completely out of the public eye, focusing on his studies at the exclusive Buckley School and his passions for martial arts, comic books, and video games. He was the quiet one, the observer processing his extraordinary life in his own time, on his own terms. But in recent years, a thoughtful, intelligent, and articulate young man has begun to emerge. He occasionally appears on his brother Prince's YouTube channel, offering insightful and often witty movie reviews, showing a deep knowledge of film history and technique. More significantly, as he has come of age, he has begun to use his platform for a cause he is deeply passionate about: climate change and environmental conservation. In a rare 2021 interview filmed at his father's Havenhurst estate, he spoke eloquently and urgently about the need for world leaders to address the climate crisis, a clear echo of his father's message in powerful songs like Earth Song. He hosted an event at his home to raise awareness, using his inherited legacy to amplify a modern, critical message. Bigi Jackson's journey is one of quiet, thoughtful emergence. He is not seeking the artistic fame of his sister or the business world of his brother. Instead, the boy who was once hidden under a blanket is now purposefully and intelligently stepping into the light on his own terms to champion the future of the planet. He is perhaps the truest heir to his father's introspective, creative, and world-conscious spirit. Together, the lives of Prince Paris and Bigi Jackson are a remarkable testament to resilience in the face of an upbringing that was both magical and impossibly isolating. A producer, an artist, and an activist. A protector, a phoenix, and a thinker, each has found their own unique way to carry the immense weight and the brilliant light of the Jackson legacy. This theme of the children of a trailblazing musical icon, a true innovator who changed the sound and look of popular music, is something we have explored before on this channel. In a previous video, we dove into the life of one of the original teen idols and rock and roll pioneers, Ricky Nelson. We explored his incredible journey from a child star on his family's sitcom to a respected musician who fought for his own artistic identity. You can watch that definitive story by clicking the link right here. And his children's own stories of growing up in a rock and roll dynasty with all of its own pressures and tragedies are just as complex and fascinating. We are currently developing a deep dive Ricky Nelson's 5 Children, the Untold Story. To explore that incredible musical family, be sure to subscribe and have hit that notification bell. You won't want to miss it.